How to manage people. 1. Understanding yourself. Knowing yourself will give you valuable insights into your aptitude for managing others. It allows you to understand how you're perceived by others, why they respond to you in the way they do, and how to get the best from them. 2. Developing self-awareness. Awareness of your emotions, personality, what you enjoy and dislike, what motivates you, and what comes easily or poses challenges is a key precursor to developing effective managerial ability. Quite simply, if you can't manage yourself, you will not be able to manage anyone else. 3. Keeping moving. The best way to enhance your self-awareness is to learn in a systematic way from your own experiences. Start by reflecting on situations in your working life, your actions in response to them, and the outcomes of these events. Schedule a regular time to do this, either at the beginning or end of a workday, when you are not in the thick of the action. Give yourself space to reflect, and make sure you can be alone and uninterrupted for a significant period of time. Try to gain a better understanding of what happened, and think about how you can learn from each situation. 4. Analyzing your performance. Assessing your progress toward your goals can help you gain a fuller understanding of your strengths and weaknesses. Whenever you make a key decision or take a key action, write down what you expect will happen. Then every 3 or 4 months, compare the actual results with your expectations. If you practice this method consistently, it will help you discover what you are doing or failing to do that deprives you of the full benefits of your strengths and will demonstrate areas in which you are not particularly competent and cannot perform adequately. 5. Using emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, EI, is the ability to monitor and work with your and others' emotions. It is measured in EQ, which is the emotional equivalent of IQ. Daniel Goleman, author of the best-selling Emotional Intelligence, and other writers suggest that a technically proficient manager with a high EQ will be more successful than a manager who has only a high IQ. 6. Understanding EQ. Your EQ is a measure of your ability to understand and interact with others, and becomes more important the more people you deal with. EQ does not measure personality traits or cognitive capacity. Emotional intelligence can be developed over time and can be improved through training and therapy. Those with a high EQ will be better able to control their own emotions, while at the same time using them as a basis for action. Working with emotions, rather than being at the mercy of them, makes individuals more successful in dealing with the demands of the environment around them. They are better able to control impulses and deal with stress, and better at problem solving. All of these qualities help the individual perform more competently at work. 7. Managing emotions. Emotional intelligence has 2 aspects, one inward-facing and one outward-facing. The first of these is your emotional self-awareness and your ability to manage your own emotions. The second is your degree of empathy or awareness of others' emotions and your ability to productively manage relationships with others. Both inward and outward-facing aspects of emotional intelligence are made up of a number of skills or competencies. The 4 competencies of emotional intelligence. Inward competencies. 1. Self-awareness. Emotional self-awareness. Accurate self-assessment. Self-confidence. 2. Self-management. Emotional self-control. Trustworthiness, conscientiousness, achievement orientation, adaptability, optimism, initiative. Outward competencies. 3. Relationship management, development of others, inspirational leadership, influence, communication, affecting change, conflict management, bond building, teamwork and collaboration. 4. Social awareness, empathy, organizational awareness, Service orientation. 70% of managers values EQ more highly than IQ in their employees. Applying assertiveness. An effective manager needs to behave in an active and assertive manner to get things done. Assertive managers are able to express their feelings and act with appropriate degrees of openness and candor, but still have a regard for the feelings and rights of others. Understanding personality types. Assertiveness and the ability to express feelings are skills that people possess to different extents. Some are aggressive, direct, and blunt, and can appear domineering, pushy, or self-centered. Some people tend to be passive, inhibited, and submissive. They bottle up their feelings and fail even to stand up for their legitimate rights. Passive individuals seek to avoid conflicts and tend to sublimate their own needs and feelings in order to satisfy others. Assertive behavior for effective management. Most people fall between the extremes of passive and aggressive. At these extremes, passive and aggressive behaviors hinder effective managerial relations because neither encourages openness. Effective managers need to be assertive, express their ideas and feelings openly, and stand up for their rights, and all in a way that makes it easier for those they are managing to do the same. The assertive manager is always sensitive to the needs of others. He or she does not seek to rule less assertive people. Trying to achieve dominance may produce short-term results, but will not make the best use of the abilities of members of your team. The assertive manager is straightforward, yet sensitive to the needs of others. Becoming more assertive. 1. State your case. Try beginning your conversations with I phrases, such as I think, I believe, or I need. 2. Be prepared. Prepare for tricky encounters. Have all the facts on hand, and try to anticipate the other person's replies. 3. Use open questions. If you are finding it hard to get a person to talk to you, use open questions that cannot be answered with a simple yes or no answer. 4. Visualize yourself. Try assertive role play with a trusted colleague to help you see yourself as an assertive person. 5. Get perspective. Try to see a situation from the other person's point of view. Most workplace bullies, for example, are hiding their own insecurities or an inability to do the job. 6. Be patient. You'll need time and practice to become comfortable with the new behavior. Recognize that those around you may initially be uncomfortable when you start to become more assertive. Examining your assumptions. Managers tend to treat their staff according to assumptions they hold about what motivates people. These assumptions create self-fulfilling prophecies in the behavior of the staff. Managers reward what they expect and consequently only get what they expect. Challenging your own assumptions is one of the first steps in becoming a better manager. X-style managers. Prominent management theorist Douglas McGregor distinguished two management styles, X and Y, based on the assumptions held by managers about the motives of their staff. X-style managers believe that workers need to be coerced and directed. They tend to be strict and controlling, giving workers little latitude and punishing poor performance. They use few rewards and typically give only negative feedback. These managers see little point in workers having autonomy because they think that the workforce neither expects nor desires cooperation. Y-style managers. Y-style assumptions reflect a much more optimistic view of human nature. Y-style management contends that people will gladly direct themselves toward objectives if their efforts are appropriately rewarded. Managers who hold Y assumptions assume a great deal of confidence in their workers. They are less directive and empower workers, giving them more responsibilities and freedom to accomplish tasks as they deem appropriate. Shaping the environment. Organizations that are designed based on X-style assumptions are very different to those designed by Y-style managers. For example, because they believe that their workers are motivated to help the organization reach its goals, Y-style managers will decentralize authority and give more control to workers than will X-style managers. A Y-style manager realizes that most people are not resistant to organizational needs by nature, but may have become so as a result of negative experiences, and strives to design structures that involve the employees in executing their work roles, such as participative management and joint goal setting. These approaches allow employees to exercise some self-direction and self-control in their work lives. In Y-style management, although individuals and groups are still accountable for their activities, the role of the manager is not to exert control, but to provide support and advice, and to make sure that workers have the resources they need to perform their jobs effectively. By contrast, X-style managers consider their role to be to monitor workers to ensure that they contribute to the production process and do not threaten product quality. Tip: analyze yourself. Honestly review every decision you make and every task you delegate. In each case, ask yourself what you assume the staff involved would think and how you expected them to behave. Remember that positive expectations help produce positive outcomes. Clarifying your values. Values are stable and enduring beliefs about what is good, right, and worthwhile, and about the behavior that is desirable for achieving what is worthwhile. To be an effective manager, it is necessary to have a good understanding of what your values are and to act accordingly. Defining values. Values are formed early in our lives, from the influence of our parents, teachers, friends, religious leaders, and media role models. Some may change as we go through life and experience different behaviors. Your values manifest themselves in everything you do and the choices that you make. If you are someone who particularly values promptness, for example, you will make sure that you always behave in ways that mean you are on time for appointments. The thought of being late will stimulate feelings of stress in you and induce a subsequent adrenaline rush as you hurry to be at the appointment on time. As a manager, it is important for you to clarify your values so that you can determine what your goals are and how you want to manage yourself and others to achieve them. Clarifying your personal values. It may sound strange, but one of the best ways to clarify your personal values and gain a clear understanding of what is important to you is to think about how you would like to be remembered in your eulogy. Sit quietly and consider how you want your friends and family to remember you, and what you want your work colleagues to say they thought of you. Also think of your broader contributions. How would you like to be remembered in the communities you are a part of? Make notes, and use the information you write down to identify the values that are most important to you. Dealing with conflicts. It can be challenging when your personal values conflict with those of your organization, or when there are conflicting values between individuals or subgroups. Value differences can exist, for example, about how to perform jobs, the nature of reward systems, or the degree of intimacy in work relationships. Having a clear understanding of your own personal value set will help you to manage these conflict situations. If you are clear about your own values, you can act with integrity and practice what you preach regardless of emotional or social pressure. To address a conflict situation, first make sure you are aware of, understand, and are tolerant of the value differences held by the other parties. This will help you determine whether the value conflict is, in fact, irresolvable and will require personnel changes, or whether compromises and adjustments can be made to accommodate the different perspectives. In focus, types of value. Values can be classified into two types: terminal and instrumental. Terminal values, your ends in life, are desirable ends or goals, such as a comfortable, prosperous life, world peace, great wisdom, or salvation. Instrumental values, the means to those ends, are beliefs about what behaviors are appropriate in striving for desired goals and ends. Consider a manager who works extra hours to help deliver a customer's rush order. The attitude displayed is a willingness to help a customer with a problem. The value that serves as the foundation of this attitude might be that of service to others.